Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTbase.com. Welcome to our weekly COT review. Today we're going to be looking at the 31st Commitment to Traders Report of 2019. And as we always do, we're going to start off with looking at large changes in commercials positions. And rough rice is a market where we had such a large change, a 25% change to be exact in commercials positions. One of the largest, possibly the largest change in the past 52 weeks. Also witnessing significant changes in large speculators and small speculators positions. Now, of course, this is a bearish COT change signal, although coming a little bit late for us. If you look at the chart, you can see that we've already witnessed a bit of a decline this week in rough rice prices. Now, if we move on to the 5 years chart, we have a chance to examine the COT Extreme situation, and you can see stress levels are building up on the bearish side of the market. Week by week, we are witnessing a bit larger extreme to the towards the bearish side. We could see this continue on for a few more weeks. Nevertheless, it's something that we should keep in mind and have our eyes on rough rice, because we are expecting this bearish extreme to evolve and see lower prices coming in the medium to long-term future. The next market is the Minneapolis wheat, where we have a 17% change in commercials positions, but in this case, we are talking about a bullish COT change signal. Maybe not as large of a change as we had in rough rice, but definitely larger than average. Moving on to the 5 years chart, you can see that here we have a pretty bullish extreme. You can see some examples in the past when we had similar extremes, and of course come to the conclusion that these bullish extremes were pretty effective on the market. Another example from 2016. So we're expecting this to push prices higher in the medium future. Maybe we may need to wait another 1 or 2 weeks before we reach that extreme, but great opportunity here in the Minneapolis wheat. The next market is the South African Rand, where we have a 14% change in commercials positions. Pretty significant change in the South African Rand. And of course, this suggests that we should see this decline continue in the next few days. Now, if we move on to the 5 years chart, you can see that we are getting closer and closer to bearish extreme levels, although this example from June of 2017 shows us that there's some more space left to reach those levels. Moving on to large speculator COT Extreme, we have the natural gas on top of our list with 175 report extreme. This, of course, shows us that there's a bullish extreme present in the market. Of course, stress levels could continue rising in the next couple of weeks. So a very interesting market that we should keep our eyes on in the next couple of weeks and expect eventually a bottom happening in the natural gas. British pound is the next market with 117 report extreme in large speculators positions. Again, another example for a bullish extreme, suggesting that this decline, which has been on for quite some time in the past 5 years, should eventually end, and we could see higher prices coming concerning the British pound. Moving on to our last market for this review, we're going to jump over the metals complex. Rough rice, we talked about that, so silver will be the next market to analyze, where we have an 87 report extreme in large speculators positions, 97 report extreme in commercials, so maybe not the largest on this 5 years time scale, but definitely large enough to talk about. Of course, this suggests that after witnessing this bullish extreme back in the end of May, which was, by the way, a very good example of a bullish extreme, we have now reached a bearish extreme, suggesting we could see a bit of a drop happening in silver prices. So that was all for this review. Of course, don't forget you can look at more markets at COTbase.com. You can do a more in-depth and detailed COT analysis if you want by looking at other report types, maybe other data types. Of course, you can analyze other data sets if you wish, or you can have a more exciting COT change analysis by looking at multiple report changes on a defined look-back period. A COT extreme analysis can be done by looking at the COT index or the move index And of course, you can check the long-term trend indicator and do a volume and open interest analysis as well. So a lot of great features here at COT Base. I hope you will give it a try and check it out. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope to see you next week. Have a great weekend. Take care. Goodbye.